Disclosing is something that is totally up to the individual. Whether you have a formal diagnosis, whether you have been simply self-diagnosed, which I actually think is virtually as valid for most purposes, or whether you just think that maybe you have one of these conditions. Do you tell anybody is a question. And there's advantages to disclosing. I personally always disclose. And I disclose right up front. And the reason is, sooner or later, if you do have one of these conditions, there's going to be something that comes up that is the way that you, with the particular mix of human traits you have in this condition that you have, is going to come across as being not proper for the situation or the other people that are there. And if they don't know that you have something, that if they don't know that Tim's autistic and Tim is being a little overbearing, then that can be bad. They're not going to think good things. They're going to make assumptions about me that are probably not positive. On the other hand, if they know that I'm autistic, then they can at least think about, maybe it's because he's autistic he's being the way he's being. Which is a lot better than using it afterwards, where somebody sits you down and says, in this meeting you were this way and didn't speak respectfully to somebody, and then you say, oh well, I did that because I'm autistic and I just don't get that stuff. No, it's just an excuse. It's probably true, but it still comes across as being an excuse. So I think there's high value in disclosing, and there's we could have a whole talk on disclosing, of how to prepare, how to do it, how to provide resources when you do it. Don't just do it spur of the moment. Most people you disclose to don't know what it is that you're disclosing about, or at least the details of that condition. So you always want to give them some information. But the other part to remember, though, is disclosing is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. Just because you disclose doesn't mean that you don't have to do your job and your role. It doesn't mean that you can be a jerk. That you don't have to follow the code of conduct of whatever organization or area you're in. So there's value to it, but on the other hand, it's not you can do anything you want once you've disclosed. So I, again, would recommend disclosing. It's a good thing. It helps your manager understand how to work with you if you give them the resources of understanding what it really means. But it's not going to get you out of having to do your job, nonetheless. So that's my little, thing on disclosing.